Hello everyone, this is Highlander from MTG Cardsmith doing another custom Magic the Gathering card review. Today we are reviewing cards by Feralitator from his set Nerotomea, which is an ocean-themed set. Here we have a card called Pull Into the Depths. Nice, I like it. What is this guy exactly? Oh, he's a Minotaur. Okay. He's got 4 fingers. Minotaur Pirate is what he is. Cool. So this is another common. Great, love me some commons. 2 mana instant, return target creature to its owner's hand. Excuse me. And we've got Sync. Okay, so hold on. Before I read this, well, I guess I'll read this first. He left me a note about Sync, so let's take a look. If 3 or more cards left your library this turn, put that creature on the top of its owner's library instead. Gotcha. A card leaves your library when it moves to a zone other than your library. Okay, so Sync doesn't care where cards leaving the library go. So even moving cards from your main library to your harbor counts. Cards leaving your harbor also counts as well. Okay. Cards leaving your harbor counts too. Okay. See, I think that when you it feels to me like this should say, even though you like told me that, it feels to me like this should say if 3 or more cards left your library or harbor this turn, or library and or harbor this turn. That's how I feel like this should be worded. I know that you sort of left me this note here about it, but like this, the way you're doing this here, I don't remember what they call this particular type of design. I'm sure Jadefire knows. He knows everything. So Jadefire, let me know. But it's this type of design where you have an italicized word, a dash, and it's sort of just like it's not really a mechanic. It's sort of just like it's like a recurring mechanic, but it's not like a keyword or anything like that. Like Metalcraft or I mean, there've been a lot of them. There's plenty. Raid, is another one. So let me know what those are called. But anyway, with this type of a thing, I think you really should specify if 3 or more cards left your library and or harbor this turn. I think that'll just get rid of any misunderstanding when it comes to sync effects. Okay, so onto the card itself. So this is sort of a below the curve card. So unsummon costs 1 blue, right? It's only creature, but the payoff here is very high. If 3 or more cards left your library, put that creature on the top of its owner's library. That's a very, very high payoff, because the difference between returning a creature to your owner's hand and returning it to the top of its library is huge. Because on the one you're down a card, and on the other you're not. You're 1 for 1 there. So this card is definitely interesting. Like I'm interested in this card, and if I were playing the set, if I was drafting this set, I would definitely be interested in this. The real question is, how difficult is it to have 3 or more cards leave your library and or harbor, right? Now I know you have Haul, right? So Haul does it. So far we've seen a card that hauls 1, and a card that you can play lands from the top of your harbor. So I don't know how difficult this would be. It's very hard. It's very hard for me to evaluate this. This is something that you'll need. Wow, sorry, my voice is cracking because I'm going through puberty. This is something that you will have to playtest to really find out how easy it is to get this off. Because if this is like pretty easy, then this card is probably a little overpowered. Because I mean, this effect normally costs like 4 to 5 mana. Generally, I think 4 is probably around where it would be nowadays. And you're basically getting it here for 2. which is really strong. Um, if it's more difficult, then I like it because it means that like if it's more difficult, then this is cool because all of a sudden this card becomes sort of like a payoff card for drafting a certain way, right? Or for I guess if you're not drafting, building your deck a certain way, I should say, right? And in that sense, I really like it. So I would think I would prefer if it were more towards that direction. Um, and right now, I just don't know. You know, I just don't know enough about how easy it is to move things around. I mean, if you in other formats, this card is very strong because you could just like mill 3 and all of a sudden, bam, you just get to 2 mana, like put something on top. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I like the design. I'm really thinking about it. It interests me. Like if I this is cool because I'm a limited player, and as a limited player, this card excites me, right? Because I'm like, oh, I really a two mana put card on top. That's great. Like, how do I get that going? I gotta get some haul going, right? Some mill or whatever, right? Um, so yeah, I like this card. I really do. Can't speak to the power level, so I won't rate it for the power level. I think I'll give this card. I think I'll give this card a 5 out of 5. I don't really see anything wrong with it. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't give it a 5 out of 5. It's not centered. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll give it a 4 out of 5 though. Still high grade. Almost perfect card. Just needs to be centered horizontally here. Um, so I really like this card, but just be careful and playtest this to determine if this is too strong or not. That's my advice to you. So yeah, that's my review of Pull Into the Depths. Great flavor, by the way. Also, like it, like the flavor.